The air is heavy. Thick fog hangs in the air, making it hard to see. The trees of Whispering Woods are just shadows, twisted and gnarled. A low, humming sound comes from deep within the woods. It seems to vibrate in your chest.
Are you sure about this?
It's just a stupid dare, Em. What's the worst that could happen?
5 kids disappeared here, Jake. 10 years ago, nobody ever found them.
Maybe they just got lost. Come on, let's get this over with.
The friends stumble through the trees, their voices hushed. The forest is dense, the trees towering above them, their branches intertwining to form a canopy that blocks out the moonlight. Every step they take is cautious, the ground beneath them uneven and covered in a thick layer of fallen leaves. The air is cold and damp, and the fog that surrounds them is so thick that they can barely see a few feet ahead. They move slowly, their eyes darting around, trying to make out any shapes in the mist. The silence is almost deafening, broken only by the occasional snap of a twig underfoot or the distant hoot of an owl. They know they are not alone in these woods, but they can't shake the feeling that something is watching them, lurking just out of sight. The fog seems to muffle all sound. Then they see it. A shadowy outline begins to take shape in the distance, barely visible through the thick fog. As they get closer, the outline becomes clearer, revealing the unmistakable shape of a small cabin. The structure is old and weathered, its wooden walls covered in moss and vines. It looks as though it has been abandoned for years, left to decay in the middle of the forest. The friends exchange nervous glances, their hearts pounding in their chests. They know they should turn back, but something compels them to move forward, drawn to the cabin by an unseen force. A small, dilapidated cabin, almost swallowed by the trees. The windows are broken and the door hangs loosely on its hinges. The roof is partially caved in, and the entire structure looks as though it could collapse at any moment. Despite its appearance, there is something strangely inviting about the cabin, as if it holds secrets waiting to be discovered. The friends hesitate for a moment, their fear battling with their curiosity. Finally, Jake steps forward, his hand reaching for the door.
This is creepy. The words hang in the air, a stark contrast to the silence that surrounds them. The others nod in agreement, their eyes wide with fear. They can feel the weight of the cabin's history pressing down on them, the sense that something terrible happened here long ago. But despite their fear, they can't bring themselves to leave. They have come this far, and they need to know what lies inside.
The door creaks as Jake pushes it open. The sound is loud in the stillness, echoing through the trees. They hold their breath, half expecting something to jump out at them from the darkness, but nothing happens. Slowly, they step inside, their eyes adjusting to the dim light. The smell hits them first, damp, musty, like something long dead. It is overpowering, making them gag. The air is thick with dust, and they can see particles floating in the weak beams of light that filter through the broken windows. The floorboards creak under their weight, and they have to be careful where they step to avoid falling through. Inside, the cabin is dark and dusty. The walls are covered in peeling wallpaper, and the furniture is old and broken. There are signs that animals have been here, nests in the corners, droppings on the floor. But there is also something else, something that makes their skin crawl. They can feel eyes on them, watching their every move. Cobwebs hang from the ceiling. They are thick and heavy, swaying slightly in the breeze that comes through the broken windows. The friends move carefully, trying not to disturb them. They know that whatever is in this cabin, it has been here for a long time.
Look! The voice is urgent, filled with a mix of fear and excitement. They all turn to see what has been discovered.
On it sits a collection of old porcelain dolls. They are arranged neatly on a shelf, their blank eyes staring out into the room. The dolls are dressed in old-fashioned clothes, their faces pale and cracked. There is something unsettling about them, as if they are watching the friends, judging them. Their eyes are blank and staring. It is as if they are alive, their gaze following the friends as they move around the room. The friends can't shake the feeling that the dolls are aware of their presence, that they are somehow connected to the cabin's dark past. One doll is missing its head. The body lies on the shelf, the neck jagged and broken. It is a disturbing sight, made even more so by the fact that the head is nowhere to be seen. The head lies on its side, a grotesque smile painted on its face. It is as if the doll is mocking them, its empty eyes filled with malice. The friends feel a chill run down their spines and they take a step back, their fear growing with each passing moment. On the wall behind the dolls, someone has scrawled a message in what looks like dried blood. The words are barely legible, but they can make out the message. Leave now or suffer the same fate. The friends are frozen in place, their minds racing. They know they need to leave, but they are too scared to move.
Don't look behind you. The words are whispered, barely audible, but they send a wave of terror through the group. They turn to see who spoke, but there is no one there. The realization hits them. They are not alone in this cabin. Something is here with them, something that does not want them to leave.
That's just messed up. I can't believe we're stuck out here.
He reaches out to touch the writing on the wall. The words are barely visible, etched into the wood, almost as if they were a warning from the past. Suddenly the cabin is plunged into darkness. The air grows cold and an eerie silence envelops the room. Their flashlights flicker and die. Panic sets in as they realize they are completely surrounded by darkness.
What was that? Did you hear that noise? It sounded like something moving out there.
My flashlight just died, dead batteries. We should have brought extras.
Mine too. Chloe, Ethan, where are you guys? We need to stick together.
Jake's voice is tight. There is no answer. The silence is deafening and fear begins to creep in. Only the sound of their own ragged breathing. Each breath is a reminder of their isolation and the unknown dangers lurking in the dark.
A cold hand brushes against my cheek. Chloe, is that you? The sensation is so familiar, yet so foreign. My heart races as I strain to see through the dense fog, hoping to catch a glimpse of her, but all I see are shadows dancing in the mist, playing tricks on my mind. The forest is eerily silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves underfoot. I call out again, my voice trembling. Chloe, please, if it's you, give me a sign. But the silence is deafening, and the cold hand retreats, leaving me with a sense of dread.
Something moves in the darkness. It's subtle at first, just a flicker of movement out of the corner of my eye, but then it becomes more pronounced. A shadow darting between the trees. I can feel its presence. Watching, waiting. The air grows colder and I shiver, pulling my jacket tighter around me. Every instinct tells me to run, but my feet feel rooted to the spot. The forest seems alive, the trees whispering secrets I can't quite hear. I take a hesitant step forward, my breath visible in the cold air. The shadow moves again, closer this time, and I know I have to move. A low growl echoes through the cabin. It's a sound that sends chills down my spine, primal and menacing. The cabin, once a place of refuge, now feels like a trap. The growl grows louder, reverberating through the wooden walls. I can feel the vibrations under my feet, and I know whatever is making that sound is getting closer. I glance around, looking for an escape route, but the fog outside is thick, almost impenetrable. The growl turns into a snarl, and I can hear the heavy footsteps approaching. I have to get out of here, but my body feels paralyzed with fear. Emily and Jake fumble for each other, their hands connecting. In the midst of the chaos, their touch is a lifeline, grounding them. They exchange a look, a silent promise to stay together no matter what. The forest around them is a maze, the fog making it difficult to see more than a few feet ahead, but they move forward step by step, their hands never letting go. The bond between them is their only source of strength, and they cling to it desperately. Every sound, every shadow feels like a threat, but together they feel they can face anything. And then they are running, blindly, through the trees, the fog closing in around them like a shroud. Their breaths come in ragged gasps, the cold air burning their lungs. The ground is uneven, roots and rocks threatening to trip them with every step. But they don't stop. They can't stop. The sense of urgency drives them forward, the fear of what's behind them pushing them to their limits. The forest seems endless, the trees stretching on forever. The fog is so thick now that they can barely see each other, but they hold on, their fingers intertwined. They have to keep moving no matter what.
Jake! My voice echoes through the forest, but it feels swallowed by the fog. I can't see him, but I can hear his footsteps, the sound of his breathing. I push forward, my heart pounding in my chest. The fear is overwhelming, but I can't let it stop me. I have to find him. I have to make sure he's okay. The forest feels like it's closing in on me, the trees pressing closer, the fog thicker. I call out again, my voice breaking. Jake, where are you? Please answer me. but all I hear is the echo of my own voice, and the silence that follows is deafening.
Emily hears Jake cry out behind her, a strangled gasp. It's a sound that cuts through the fog, sharp and desperate. She stops, her heart racing, and turns to look back. The fog is so thick that she can barely see a few feet in front of her, but she can make out a dark shape moving towards her. The sound of Jake's gasp echoes in her ears, and she knows she has to go back. She can't leave him behind. She takes a deep breath, steeling herself, and starts to move towards the sound, her steps hesitant but determined. She has to find him, she has to save him. She risks a glance back and sees a dark shape pulling him back into the fog. The sight sends a jolt of fear through her, but also a surge of determination. She can't let him be taken, she has to fight. She moves forward, her steps quickening, her heart pounding in her chest. The dark shape is getting closer, and she can see Jake struggling, trying to break free. She calls out to him, her voice strong and clear. "Jake, hold on, I'm coming!" The fog seems to thicken around them, but she pushes through, her focus solely on reaching him. She won't let him go, not now, not ever.
Jake! My voice is raw, desperate. I can see him now, just a few feet away, but it feels like miles. The dark shape is pulling him back, and I can see the fear in his eyes. I reach out, my fingers brushing against his, and for a moment I think I have him. But then the dark shape pulls harder, and he's ripped away from me. I scream, the sound echoing through the forest. "Jake, no! I can't lose him! I won't lose him!" I push forward, my determination stronger than my fear. I have to save him. I have to bring him back.
But her voice is swallowed by the trees. The forest seems to absorb the sound, the fog muffling everything. She feels a sense of hopelessness, but she can't give up. She won't give up. She pushes forward, her steps determined. The trees seem to close in around her, the fog thick and choking, but she keeps moving, her focus solely on finding Jake. She can't let him be taken. She has to fight. The forest is a maze, but she navigates it with a sense of purpose. She won't let the darkness win. She won't let the forest take him. She will find him, no matter what. She runs, her lungs burning, her heart pounding. Every step feels like a battle, but she doesn't stop. She can't stop. The fear and determination drive her forward. The need to find Jake pushing her to her limits. The forest is a blur around her, the trees and fog blending together, but she doesn't care. All that matters is finding him. She can hear his voice, faint but there, calling out to her. She follows the sound, her steps quickening. She won't let him be taken. She won't let the darkness win. She will find him no matter what it takes. The forest seems to press in around her, the fog thick and choking. Every breath is a struggle, but she keeps moving. The trees are like shadows looming over her, but she doesn't let them intimidate her. She pushes through, her focus solely on finding Jake. The fog is so thick now that she can barely see, but she doesn't let it stop her. She moves forward, her steps determined. She won't let the forest take him. She won't let the darkness win. She will find him no matter what. The chase is on, and she won't stop until she has him back in her arms.
Section 6, lost and found, panting. Where? Where am I? Breathing heavily. What is this place? Oh my God. The names. Chloe Miller. No, this can't be happening. The others. They're all here. This wasn't an accident. This was something else. Section 7, faceless in the dark. Gasping. What was that? Turns around. Oh no, no, it can't be. It's you. You're the one who took them. Chloe, Ethan, Jake, it was you.
Silent, menacing presence.
Section 8, a message from beyond. Stumbling falls. Ouch! Notices phone. My phone, it must have fallen out. Wait, what's this? Missing teens case update. You won't believe what we found. Creepy unsolved. Could this be it? Could this be the answer? Section 9, the scream. Terrified. No, stay away from me! Screams.
Silent, menacing presence.
The scream is cut short, replaced by a chilling silence. The phone on the ground flickers, then goes dark.